Another episode of The Blathering. It's live. If you're watching live here on YouTube, Twitch, you might be watching on Facebook. I don't know who actually watches on Facebook. Occasionally some people come in and comment, and I appreciate you, but I put it there because why not? Eventually we'll all work our way back to Facebook, and then someone will create MySpace 2.0. They'll get Tom out of retirement, but he won't have any creative decisions, so it'll have a photo there. It'll feel like old times. Next thing you know, Friendster will be back up and running in full. I think Friendster still exists. I tried to log into my Friendster profile maybe 2 years ago. And I wasn't even drunk. I just decided to do it. My MySpace profile I log into about once a year after I remember the password. Hey, everybody. I'm Ken Napzok. This is what we do. We get all of you gathered here, and then I just blather. I just talk. Sometimes, I don't know, we could touch on serious things, but I got to tell you, I don't even know what to say anymore on the serious things out there in the world. I deal with them as they come up. Because it's last week we were broadcasting as the hurricane was making its way. We were tracking Hurricane Helene, and now we know one of the more devastating hurricanes to or any natural disaster to hit our shores. And it's not good, you know. And so you sometimes just have to compartmentalize. I think it was a week of compartmentalizing. Say all the syllables. And, you know, watch the debates on Tuesday night. Debates aren't going to change your mind, I don't think. There's the mythical undecided voter. I do think exists. I think they're out there. And, you know, I don't know if, I don't even know if they moved a point off of where they were going into the debate. I think it's just kind of to hold the line. I think the vice presidential debates are just kind of to hold the line. And I don't think... And by the way, all candidates and all debates are going to say something that needs to be fact-checked. They're going to say something that isn't 100% true. We're going to say something that maybe they got wrong. That's part of the game. But you know, to watch, much like Trump, to watch Vance just go up there and just spin yards that, you know, have no real truth to them or have just enough truth. It's like a good conspiracy theorist. Just enough truth to make you go, okay. And not check it. So dark times indeed on that side of it too. But hey, we got folks here. We got Laserbolt. We got Major Problems. Evan, ahoy, ahoy. It's still a good Simpsons reference. It really is. Jared's checking in here. We're going to get calls from Jared here soon. We got Steve. Steve checking in. Steve produced a great segment last week. I should compensate him for his producing skills, but I think it got 48 views. So, you know, if you want 5 cents, Steve, I'll give it to you. We did the NFL picks. Hopefully we'll do it again this week. I don't think I did. I never remember what my picks are. Even after I edited the video, I don't remember what my picks are. I just know what I thought of my Miami Dolphins. It's not been a good season. It's not going to be a good season for us. And that went downhill fast. And I know I got that wrong in a major way. Kingsport Cal is here. I'm glad to see you here, Kingsport Cal. You were you're too close to the action, my friend, and I thought of you and a lot of folks in your neck of the woods out there, and still am. So glad to see you here, Kingsport Cal. 8984M here as well. Addie's here. We'll get some calls from Addie as well. And then Steve says, hey, we do it for the love of the game, Ken. At this point, yeah. I do have an audio podcast up this week. I did an episode of a Napzok file. Just plain forgot because I started it, and it wasn't one of those things where I got too busy. I forgot it was something I had to do. So the second episode, about 2 weeks delayed from when I thought I was going to put it out. But it was good because I had a lot of things on my mind this week about not having things on my mind. I just don't know if I have anything to say anymore. Not just about pop culture or politics or anything. I have a lot. I think about it. I'm in it. I'm in my head on it. I just don't know publicly in front of a microphone what I have to say anymore. And the content game has just robbed so many of us of our souls. And I'm at a weird talking point, or a point where I like talking to microphones. I just don't know what to do anymore. It's just the reality of what's going on. So anyways, that is explained in more detail on the episode of an Napzok file that you can see on my podcast feed. Cal says this, I'm doing good, Ken, not so much for some folks I know. Yeah, and you know, I thought about finding a good charity spot to tell you all to donate to tonight. I ran out a little time, full transparency, to look it up. I always want to make sure you're finding the right spot and who's going to take your money and actually do good with it and not take your money and run with it. And that's hard. It's hard to make that leap of faith if you're doing just blind charity donations. So if anyone out there listening, watching right now in the live chat, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, drop it. Drop the link. and I'll highlight it, of one you use, of one you trust. And Cal, if you know of anything specific out there, that's a good place for me. Yeah, Jared says Red Cross always good as far as I know. Yeah, generally speaking, Red Cross is good. Some of the Salvation Army type of stuff, you hear bad things about it, and I think it's important to look it up for yourself, but also important to think about others. So also on a lighter note, because we do need lighter notes, about 2-3 years ago, I'll say this, about 2-3 years ago, I changed. I woke up, but I don't know if that's the original intention of the word woke. I know where it kind of comes from, joking, of course, a little bit there, but 2-3 years ago, I kind of woke up where I just was like, I have to be able to talk about some of these things that I have opinions on in the world that in the past I didn't, or I changed my opinions on. And I just felt like, head down, talk Star Wars, talk pew, pew, pew. That changed about 2-3 years ago. But there was a point in time in like 2021 where I almost became too dour. I also want to be silly and fun too. I want to, this show here is a weekly radio show, and I hope to do it more. A couple times a week would be great, which means we go anywhere. I don't have a producer here in the studio with me. I don't have a talking sheet in front of me. I don't have a rundown in front of me. We just go where their heart goes. But that also means we might get serious, but we might going to get silly. So keeping with the silliness, I've got 2 weddings this month. I just had a funeral. I'm going to talk about that in a second. Memorial, not a funeral. Memorial. Let's get the words right. Memorial. A remembrance. A reception. But I got 2 weddings this month. I got one this weekend, and I got one in 2 weeks. And I'm excited. I haven't been to a wedding since a year ago on Halloween. I had a Halloween wedding last year. And I haven't been to a wedding since. And I got to tell you, I kind of like weddings. I don't like a long ceremony. Listen, there was one time I was in a wedding. I was part of the team, part of the groom's team. And it was a Catholic Filipino wedding. And I think the ceremony was 2 hours, 30 minutes, in that range. No disrespect to God. I think God would want a shorter ceremony. I think God's like, hey, I'm onto some other things. Maybe. I don't know. I'm kind of busy. Can we do this? I bless you. Go forth in love, and let's get on with things. It was that kind of thing. But I do enjoy weddings. So in that mind, my last wedding was Brian's. No, it was not. Brian's wedding was on Catalina Island in May of 2023. Why do I know this? Because I'll never forget the pizza I had in Catalina, Cakesport, Cal. No, I had a wedding Halloween night last year. On YouTube, I put up a poll, and I apologize. We'll verbally do the poll if you're watching on Twitch and if you're watching on Facebook. The poll is, and when you're calling in, I want your answer tonight. We're going to start running this. I got bad news, folks. We're going to start running this like a sports talk show. I wanted to. I had this thought. Mark Ellis and I drove up to the San Francisco area this past weekend for the memorial of the great Ben McCouga. I'll talk about that in a second. And we listened to some sports talk radio on the way up. And I was like, ooh, I got an idea. I need to brand the Blathering as like, I don't know, life talk radio. So I text my friend John Mariano. And I was like, hey, John, what do you think? You're a good brand guy. The Blathering's life talk. And he goes, okay, that's good. Let me check it. He comes back in 2 seconds. He's like, yeah, I just Googled that. Life Talk Radio is a Christian news network radio station kind of thing. I don't think you want to be branded with Life Talk. Nothing against them. Just when people search, they might find that not you. I said, fair enough. So anyways, with that in mind, I have a poll up on YouTube. What is your favorite part of a wedding? Now, I put 4 options. I'm open to more. I put dancing, currently at 11%. Snacks, that's hors d'oeuvres. Not necessarily the rubbery chicken they might serve, but I'm talking about the snacks, the things you can reach for and grab. Maybe even desserts, 28%. Open bar, 56%. You're all heathens, and I love it. And discovering relatives you have that you didn't know, 6%. Now, the 5th choice I was going to put was love. Maybe you go to weddings for love. I contend none of us are attending it for love. You're going to your own wedding for love, I hope. Your family might be going for love. And the ceremony might be more for the family than you. But I think we go to party. And I'll reveal my choice on that list. Major problems. Evan said I voted dancing, but after multiple visits to the open bar. Yeah, in fact, at the top of the show, before I even broadcast, I saw our buddy Dylan Barry put in. I'm trying to look for that answer. Where did it go? Dylan said he said something in the same regard as well. I think the moment I go live, that's weird. The moment I go live, any comment you put in before the start of the show on YouTube disappears. That's good to know. Okay. I apologize for that. Didn't know that. Anyway, so if you're on YouTube, please contribute to this poll. And then when you call in, you might have other things you want to talk about tonight. And I hope so. But I want that answer, and we're going to talk a little about it. Malcolm with a super chat. I love that. Thank you. Number one, I'm not going to lie. I love money, and I appreciate you sharing your money with me. That means a lot. In these times, you know how much eggs cost? Not a lot, because I went to an outlet store this week, and I bought 12 eggs. That's a dozen eggs. Cheap. So cheap I couldn't remember the price. So I don't know about that. But again, hope all's well. Is there a stand-up comic specific tour from days of yore that would make for a great, almost style famous movie? Ooh, I'm going to come back to that. That's a good one. There you go. Dylan re-put his comment. Thank you, Dylan. And Dylan says, weird feature, YouTube. We overcome it, though. We do. He says, open bars that lead to dancing. Yeah, I think that's similar to what Major Problems Evan said there as well. And Addie's singing the outlet jingle now. So, all right. So there we go. That kind of sets the tone for tonight. We had a great question. See, if Ryan Auman, this is the whole thing. I'm trying to scroll back up here on YouTube, too. So that's why I need an in-studio producer. Maybe I can train a Chihuahua to produce this show. The show deserves a Chihuahua to produce it. There was a great comment. Ryan had a question. I'll answer right now. Ryan's question was, how many emails are in your inbox right now? He said, currently I have 19. So I can answer that right now. This could almost be like if you call in, I don't know how many of you are fans of the Dan Patrick Show, Sports Talk Radio, but a good, calm, reasoned Sports Talk Radio. Anytime you call in, you have to like give your weight and your height like you're a football player. Ken from Burbank, 6'7", 330. It's maybe that's what we do. How many you call in? Hey Ken, it's Addie. 500 emails in my inbox right now. I currently unread or total. Okay, Addie is a good thing. And then Brian just scares me. I have a story for you next time we chat about meeting a relative I never knew at a wedding. Well, you could just call in and tell us that. Dan Patrick is a huge Lions fan. What a great week to be from Detroit and a sports fan, huh, Laserbolt? I don't know where Romo is. Holy moly, Lions look great. They look like a championship caliber team. And Tigers, surprising. Love that. Rooting for the Tigers. Love that they beat the Astros. All right, so Addie asks, unread or total. I'm going to say just in your inbox, total. Now, I'll say this. On Google, if you use Google, they do divide it up. And they divide it up. They got updates, social, promotions, and primary. So let's do a total of that, okay? I'm not counting saved. If you have a file and you have saved email, I'm not counting spam. So I've got to do this total, and I'm going to take a bet right now. If anyone out there, I don't know what you win, but you win my love and affection if you can get how close you think, if you can come within 10 emails. All right, this is in my primary. I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 Gmail accounts that I use regularly. I have 10 Gmail accounts. All right, so I won't reveal it yet. You guys, oh my God, Kings 4 Cal, that's insane. Oh, you guys are great. All right, these numbers are coming in. So answer the poll. Will McClain, I'm going to say right now, Will McClain, I love you. Met you, never forget meeting you at Houston. Great, bought my book in person. Love Will McClain. 10 it's wrong. It's wrong. But I love that you had that kind of hope. Jerry Garcia. Hey, Jerry. Jerry Garcia says, got to go with the wedding cake. That's an underrated. 10 Gmail accounts, no emails. Okay, got it. Okay, well, I got you. 10. Yeah, I have 10 Gmail accounts active. I also have a Hotmail account. I have a Yahoo account. Probably still have my AOL account. I don't know. Some others. All right. Laserbolt. This doesn't surprise me knowing Laserbolt. If you guys, first of all, should watch Laserbolt's videos. You should watch Laserbolt videos. He's got a great channel. It's a really warm, loving channel. What I mean by that is just a good time. It's just a good time to hang out with this dude. Drone footage, funny little sketches. I really highly recommend Laserbolt's channel. But watching you and your ponytail, Laserbolt, I'm not surprised you have one email. I'm not surprised. Okay. All right. 8984M says 30K unrate. Oh, what are you, a regional vice president of security? Okay. So the poll is up to, let me check into the poll. I want to get a call here. Currently, dancing, 14%. Snacks, 27%. Open bar, 50%. It dropped down. Discovering relatives you have, 9%. Tiller got in there and voted for that. 22 votes. Ranger Donald's here, says 2 email accounts and 0. I believe that. All right, let's get calls in here. I want Addie in here first. Addie, I'm curious about her email habits. So Addie's here. You've got a lot of things to answer, Addie. How many emails and favorite thing at a wedding?
I just checked. My personal Gmail is sitting at a comfortable 676 because I'm really bad at deleting things.
Okay.
I actually got a notice from Google last year that I had to go in and delete things from my Gmail because I was going to run out of space.
Respect.
My work email has I just checked, it has over 1,000. Because again, I'm bad at deleting things.
You're bad at deleting. Look, I'm with you. I don't want to tip my hand, but I'm with you too a little bit. I worked my old line of work, the public safety. By the time I got to like the security director position, you would be surprised that a lawsuit would happen, and you would need an email from 5 years ago. You'd need it. It'd be admissible in court. So I would save my emails.
Thankfully, I don't necessarily have that problem. My like workflow is if it's important and I need to go back to it, I leave it unread. But then once I read it and deal with it, I don't always delete it.
Yes, even though it should be out of your life and it's ready to be punted, you don't.
And it's mostly because by that point it has moved so far down the inbox, it's no longer in my direct line of sight, and I just forget about it.
Yes, that's the thing with me too. I'll go back and I'll find like, why did I not delete that message that said my Amazon package was delivered? I didn't need that. Why is it that? You just forget.
Yeah.
You forget.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I every once in a while, if I need to procrastinate doing something, I'll clear out my inbox.
Yes, you must be a writer. Yes. That is the curse of a writer. I once was escorting Jeff Garland of Curb Your Enthusiasm fame up to his office. I was giving him the keys to his office at the Farmers Market, 3rd and Fairfax. We were talking about writing and comedy, and he goes, I once washed and cleaned my wallet to avoid writing. That's how much I hate writing. And I'll set a number. I'll look at my email count. I'll set a number to try to get it down as far as I can. And I delete like 1 or 5 emails at a time. I don't do a mass delete.
Now, people like Brady give me extreme anxiety. When I sit next to people on planes and they like take their phone out of airplane mode and they suddenly have 10,000 unread emails, I'm just like, what do you do with your life?
I had a regional vice president I worked for who showed me, he pulled out his iPhone, and was like, look at that. It was like 10,000 unread emails. But the problem was that was about how many he got a day. He couldn't keep up with it. It was insane. And I'm like, eventually, when he asked me to be promoted to that position, I was like, I'm leaving and going to Screen Junkies. I'm out of this business. So can't do it.
I have to turn the red bubble off on most of my apps because it gives me anxiety when a number pops up at all. Like I immediately have to get rid of it.
Yeah. 8984 says, I'm a zillennial that doesn't check email. So true. You kids these days. Don't
My
answer
students
emails.
don't either, and I'm just
Yep.
like, how am I supposed to tell you things?
And Eddie, I don't want to put you in the same age demographic as me. Okay, I'll let you age yourself appropriately. But I
I'm
am of
firmly
the
a millennial.
there. Okay. I'm Gen X. I remember this snail mail was fun. My mail came about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was like I was like 20. This is before I moved to LA. I'd run down to the mailbox because my magazines would come in. I had like 19 magazine subscriptions, a letter from a friend, some kind of, I don't know, credit card offer seemed fun. It was a fun thing. And now that's gone. Mail is just junk. And I think email has become that. There's no longer friends writing you. It's junk.
I still have shoe boxes of letters and cards from people.
Mm-hmm.
It just made me so happy. I should probably throw it away.
No, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that Kingsport Cal has never written me a handwritten letter and sent it to my P.O. box. I'll just say that. I'm disappointed. Addie, before I let you go any further with your question, we want to talk about weddings because I got 2 coming up. Joey Bean says, favorite part of a wedding, drunken speeches with awkward inside jokes that no one laughs at. I absolutely love that. I was at a wedding. I'll just say it. It was Christian Harloff's wedding, and one of our friends got up and gave a speech in which he referenced the guy that dated, actually, not even fair, a guy, he referenced the guy that was maybe going to try to go on a date with Sadie before Christian met her, and it was the most awkward thing any of us have experienced because our friend was drunk off his ass telling this story and was like, hey, she could have been yours. And it was, the family was like, what is he talking about? What is he talking about? They've been in love forever. Like so Joey, that's a great answer because I kind of secretly love it. But Addie, where are you at with weddings?
So I have to say, I've only ever been to 3 weddings. So.
Okay. I need to know more about this. Why have you only been to 3 weddings?
I mean, there's a sad answer to that question.
There's a sad. Okay, first of all, I have to address something. Leslie says, "Was that Makuka?" It was not Josh Makuka. Great guess, but it wasn't. Okay, sad answer. What? No.
I don't have a lot of friends.
You don't have a lot of friends. Oh my God. Okay. Here's what we need to happen. Someone in our. I wish I had a bigger Blathering audience right now for you, Addie, because you got a lot of friends here. But one of them's got to get married, and they've got to invite you. That's what it's got to happen.
So I've been so my best friend. I have 2 best friends from college. I was in both of their weddings.
2 for 2. Okay.
And then one of my lab mates from grad school got married.
Okay.
While we were still in grad school.
And then school ends, and they go live their lives, and by the time. You're a teacher. You're a professor.
Is married. Yeah. The people I work with, all my friends now, like they have already been married. So I sort of missed when a lot of my friends got married while I was in grad school. I lived too far away to go to weddings, or I wasn't invited.
Wow. Or you feel that shade, everyone in the audience, or I wasn't invited.
So wow. I've been to exactly 3 weddings.
Okay.
And I was in 2 of them, so I sort of had to go.
Of those 3 weddings, what did you enjoy the most?
So my favorite thing to do at a wedding, I don't drink, so the open bar is unfortunately out of the question.
You made it not unfortunate. You fortunate for you. Off the list.
I enjoy a good group dance. Like the YMCA or the Cha-Cha Slide, where they tell me what to do.
Okay.
I can't dance unless someone is telling me what to do. But my favorite thing to do at a wedding, which I totally am pretty sure I stole from a romantic comedy or a TV show at some point, I always like to look at the groom when the bride enters the church.
Oh, that's so...
Because his face says it all.
See... Folks, you've got to invite Addie to your wedding because she's going to be one of the only people there to appreciate what we're there for, love. Everyone else of us heathens is waiting to do the chicken dance while drunk. Addie's looking up there at a partner in love. Addie, I think that's respectable. That's respectable.
In most cases, they were marrying 2 of my best friends in the world. I had to make sure they deserved them.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Check on the poll. 27 votes in, which is great. That's more than even people have viewed. Dancing, 19%. Snacks, 30%. A general term. Open bar, 44. It's gone down. Discovering relatives, you have 7%. It's gone down. So snacks is rising. Snacks might be our leader in the clubhouse soon, but right now it is the open bar because they're all heathens. And then Adam Knight is here, says, oh man, the option of, quote, politely declining the invitation wasn't on the list. Also trying to distance myself from a certain wedding I was involved in. Okay. Yeah, that's that. There's that too. I understand that, which reminds me, you should check out Adam's book, Cowboy Ending, book 1 of his Overdrive series. Get it available wherever books are sold, but check out Amazon as well. And Adam, if you're selling them directly or anything on a website, let me know as well. That's our buddy Adam, one of my favorites out there. Addie, all right, I talked your ear off. You actually called with a question, comment, or story. What's on your mind?
So a lot has happened this week. It's been a very busy week. I'm published again. That's exciting.
Oh yeah. Just celebrate this. You got. Sorry, I'm cutting you off like an asshole here, sir. You have one of your papers was peer reviewed and it passed the test and it got published.
It did. It's available online, but I'm not going to bore any of you by linking to it.
Oh, look, Kingsport Cal. He wants the link. I know he does.
My family graciously tried to read it, and then my brother said, I can't make it through the first paragraph. Will you be offended if I stop?
Look, don't worry about that. Look at this. 899 for him. Brady says, not going to lie, I want to read. So there you go. Kingsport Cal. Look, Kingsport Cal does.
I'll summarize it. We did science. It was cool. And now I can do more science because this was published.
That's perfect. You got more science coming your way. But anyways, I sidetracked you. Big week, weird week. What's up?
Weird week. But I'm sitting here. I've got so many screens going right now. But the main screen right now is Thursday Night Football. And I was thinking about it earlier. I'm really curious. How did you become a Dolphins fan?
Yeah,
I get this question all the time. So I'm curious because I also root for sports teams not where I live. So I'm really curious as to your answer.
Yeah. What's your football team? You don't have to give your location.
My football team is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and my baseball team is the Tampa Bay formerly Devil Rays.
Oh yeah, we got to get the devil out. My mom was very happy when that happened. Yeah, no, simple. Grew up, California boy, but grew up 3 hours north in Pismo Beach. So you're literally right between things. Like I had friends who were Dodger fans, Giants fans, Angel fans, A's fans, Rams, Raiders at the time, and then San Francisco 49ers. So the Niners go to the Super Bowl, 84 season, right? 84 season, 85 Super Bowl. Joe Montana, that whole thing. They go against the Dolphins. And I just had, I'm not contrarian, but I don't know. There was something, I was surrounded by 49er fans, and I was like, I think I'm going to root for the Dolphins. And then the time, age messes up the order of this, but I bought a pack of 1985 Topps football. I was starting to get into cards at the time. Little nerd kid trying to learn sports to keep up with school. And I opened up a pack of 85 Topps, and in it was a Dan Marino, which I still have that card. And I just kind of took that as a sign. Oh, that's the Dolphin guy. I like the team. They lost pretty badly. Good team, no defense. That should have been my sign to get off the bus because no one would have known. No one would have checked me because no one would have remembered. But I stuck with them, still with them, and it's painful. It's painful.
I mean, I'm a Tampa Bay Rays and a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. You do not have to explain pain to me.
But you also got a couple years in there where you're winning. Bucks are winning. Brady or not, and the early 2000s we've just been horrible for 30 years. We've had a couple good teams. That's the fortunate thing. There's some teams, including last year, that gave me enough hope to put my hope in a little basket and send it down the river to Miami, and they've crushed it every time.
But you never had to question whether or not you were going to root for them in the Super Bowl because Tom Brady was their quarterback.
Yeah, that's like the devil taking you down the field to score. Yep, I get that. I get that. That's horrible. Well, there was rumors that Brady was going to come to the Dolphins at one point, and I didn't know what to do with myself. So I understand that. I get that. Well, Addie asked, answered. I hope the answers suffice, but that's the story. That's the story of how I became a California Miami Dolphin fan.
I like it.
At least I was on the ocean. I was close. Different ocean. I was there.
Mine's way less interesting. I happened to be living in Tampa at an age where I became interested in sports.
Yeah.
I just don't live in Tampa anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I was living in Tampa the year the Rays were founded. I was with them in the terrible times.
And the terrible uniforms, too, at the time. No, that's transplanted fans. That makes a lot of sense.
But I saw Wade Boggs play baseball, so know.
There you go. Wade hit his 3,000th with the Rays. Home run, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Addie, thanks as always for the call. Congratulations on the paper. Get off this call and put the link in chat. People want to read your paper. It doesn't matter if 8984M is going to get so confused his head will spin on the bus he's riding. You put that link in there and let him read it.
I'll think about it. It has all the details of where I work, so
okay.
All
right.
Yeah.
You send us an edited version next week. How about that?
Sounds like a plan.
All right, Addie, calling it as always. Love it. Love hanging out with all of you. That's what we do here. We're here for about another hour, and definitely another hour. I'll tell you why. Because I'm going to dinner tonight. I'm not going to tell you, King Sport Cow, where we're going. Grace and I are going to dinner tonight, and I'm really hungry and excited, so I'm not going to delay that date. I'm going to get right to the next call here. Jared the Tide Pilot is on. This is the Blathering Live, folks. This is what we do. It's like a radio show. It's like a life talk radio show, just not always about Jesus. Jared, after your call, I'm going to reveal. I'm going to reveal the amount of emails. For those that just might be joining us, one of the questions tonight was how many emails are in your inbox. I'm going to answer. And then also we got to talk weddings. So before you get your question, Jared, you have to answer mine. How many emails are in your inboxes?
Actually, mine's are clean because I am ADHD and autistic about that. So if there's something in there, it must go away. But also, the funny thing about all this email talk is it started by mistake at the top because you said that the pre comments get deleted when you start the show on your end. I had a pre-show comment in there nagging you from last week's episode about have you emptied your mailbox yet? The actual mailbox of letters.
Yes.
And our good sir here, I forget his name, Ryan, took it as an email thing. So I was actually more concerned about your mail carrier.
You know what? You should be happy to know that I have gotten the mail at least 3 times this week, and there's nothing currently in it. Nothing currently in it. I was, and this week I was anticipating the mail every day because I treated myself last week with the special edition record of the new Lady Gaga concept album, the Harley Quinn album, and I was waiting for it to be delivered. So it came yesterday, and I was excited. So it was like the old times where I was like, "Here's my mail person. Here's my mail person. Here they are. Oh, they don't have it. Oh, they don't have it." So it was good. But and I think Addie said last week about getting like confirmed mail or whatever, so you get updated. It's a little less fun. But nowadays, the Lady Gaga website kept emailing me. It's on the way. We packaged it up. It's like when you order Domino's pizza and you track it. So a little less exciting.
Trust me. Yep, I've got the little trackers that let you know where I am with it. It's fun.
So 0 emails in your inbox. Grace would be a fan of you. She has 0. I do not. I'll reveal my number here shortly. And then regarding the poll, I'll check on it here. 30 votes on the poll here on YouTube. And by the way, if you're watching on Twitch or Facebook, just put your choice in the chat section of your favorite medium to watch me in. Dancing is now up to 20%. Snacks, 30%. Open bar down to 43%. Relatives, discovering relatives you didn't know you had, 7%. That one's probably going to lose. I think at this point that's only Brian Tiller that's voted because he's got a story he won't tell on air. He only wants to tell me when we play Fortnite. All right, what's your favorite thing about weddings?
I'm actually in a similar boat with Addie. I have only been to 4 weddings in my life.
Okay.
and getting drunk was the primary focus of 3 of them.
That's your answer. I think by proxy or by default, I should say.
Yeah.
By proxy with those standing with you there. Yeah, okay. Yeah, now, travel weddings, did you have a hotel to crash into, or did you have to, sober up?
No, these were local stuff. I don't...
Yeah. You could be safe.
Somebody DD'd, I'm sure, because I didn't hell's drive. But 2 of them I was actually in, and one of them I didn't realize I was in until the day of.
Yes.
It was a very last
Wow.
minute. Yep, it was a kind of an impromptu wedding by a college buddy of mine, Lars. I have no idea where he is to this day. Good on you, buddy.
God bless you, Lars. God bless you, Lars.
Yep. Oh yeah, big old guy. But I show up. I show up to his nice little quiet small wedding in the park, and he's just like, "You're the best man." I'm just like, okay. And then we get hammered, and I'm like, "Speak."
Wait,
Yeah.
you got promoted to best man? It wasn't like, hey, we need a fifth. We need you to hold the back of the line. You got promoted to best man?
Yeah, and that was it. Just me. There wasn't other groomsmen or
Okay.
anything.
Okay. Smaller wedding. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it was good
Okay.
times.
Did you have to
Yep.
do a speech?
Oh yeah, and I gave an embarrassing one too, because again, drunk and last second. So I
Yeah.
immediately went to roasting my friend about how we were at college in like the main gathering
Okay.
building before class, and we decided to go sledding with cafeteria trays. And
Sure.
as he, and as he
Yeah.
started, and then he got angry at the trays and started cracking them over his head because Lars.
Because Lars, man, I feel we know Lars. You don't even know Lars anymore, but I feel we know Lars.
Yes,
Sledding and cracking
everybody
on
knows
heads.
Lars.
Everyone has
Yes,
a Lars.
and
This is
he.
impressive.
Oh yeah,
Okay. 4
yeah.
weddings. Again, you're younger than me. This I know. But I've
10 years. Yep.
okay. Well, you're not as young as you want to be.
Nope,
It's
nope. I remember. I have a memory of the '80s. I remember the
yeah.
last 10 seconds of the '80s,
You were
sitting
there
on
to
my grandmother's, sitting on my grandmother's floor with that old brown and red crocheted blanket that everybody had
Oh yeah.
back then.
Oh yeah. That's a
Yep.
good one.
And then the ball drops and it says 1990. Those are my '80s memories.
That's a good one. That's good enough. So I guess the point is, not to make fun of your advancing years, because mine are advancing more rapidly. It's you are then past. You're past that. Hey, all my friends are suddenly getting married era. You might be. Hey, all my friends are getting second marriages going. But that's changed. Again, it's changed. I got some friends who, first time in their 50s or 40s. Like the world's changed,
Yeah.
thankfully. And now
Yeah.
more people hopefully still have a
Yeah.
right to get married than in the past. But you're past the prime days, I would say.
Yep.
Okay.
There's a few that have held on, but there's also others that are ready for number two.
Ready for number two. Ready for
Yep.
number two.
Oh yeah.
Okay, this is good. All right, yeah, my I didn't drink for a lot of the early weddings in my life. I didn't start drinking until I was 26, and still pretty measured with it. And to those out there, do as you will. Don't drink responsibly, or wait. I don't know. It's all good. It was a journey for me. But then I started drinking at weddings, and in 2012 there was a wedding I was at. I'm not joking, not hyperbole when I say I think I got up to like 12 whiskeys. And had met a friend of mine who I still talk to, a friend of mine named Stephanie, and we met at this wedding. We're friends. We knew the bride, and we both had about 11 or 12 whiskeys, but we both thought we were as sober as we could be. You know what I mean? We both were like,
Oh,
it's not even hitting me. And then at one
you
point,
gotta love that whiskey courage.
yes. At one point, and I was at a hotel and I had a hotel room. One point, one of the waiters just comes over to me, sits a big thing of water in front of me, and just smiles at me without saying anything. He just goes, "Gunk, here you go," and like walks off. And I was like, I guess he thinks I'm drunk, and had a
Not all
very
not all heroes wear capes.
yeah, not all heroes are kept. So I'm with you on that, the open bar. But okay, Evan, you answered those questions, but you might have Evan. I'm seeing Evans in the queue. This is Jared. Evan, get ready. You're next. Jared, what's your question for me?
I got two. I'll let you choose. We can either go a music way or a sports way. What's your fancy?
Well, let's start with music, and if I answer quick, we got some sports.
All right. Well, I've got I've started up a new punk band and whatnot, and
Nice.
mostly going to be doing a lot of covers and stuff. So my question to you is, what is it that you look for in a good cover band, and do you have any opinions on good punk bands for yourself?
So good. You're asking. Are you asking separate questions about what's my thoughts on cover bands or cover punk bands who do covers? Punk.
Separate. So just
Separate.
basically,
Okay.
what do you look for in cover
Yeah.
bands that do multiple bands, not just one band.
Yeah, no, there's some great ones who do weddings. There's one in L.A. A friend of mine had them at her wedding, and she's divorce eventually happened, so I won't talk about the wedding. But it was a great band. God, what was it called? The Spasmatics, maybe was it? And they're known. A lot of people know them, and they were amazing. And it doesn't need to be at a wedding. But even a band like Yachtly Crew that gets up on stage in big venues and does yacht rock covers and other general covers, I think it's capturing the spirit, right? It's capturing the heart of it. I enjoy a good cover. I think it's great music. I like covers that are note for note the same, but I like also reinterpretations. And I think sometimes you can reinterpret them in a wrong way or an incorrect way. But I think it's the heart and it's the fun. And often if you're a cover band, you're covering something that's popular, right? So you want people to capture that vibe, and you want them to be transported away for that moment. And I think that's why it works at weddings. It's why it works at events, or it works at a Burbank Starlight Bowl where Yachtly Crew plays a lot, where you're like, yes, I do want to feel like Ricky is not losing that number in front of me again. And I think it works.
I can't get over that name. That is a
Yachtly Crew? Oh, yep.
Oh, actually, speaking of band names, quick sidetrack. I'd like to thank the Orange Orangutan that is trying to run for president again for giving our band our name. We are Concept of a Plan.
Oh, that's beautiful. I want your first record releases debuted right here. And you're punk. And then you asked me about punk. I would never say I got super into punk music because I thought it didn't have things for me. But that's incorrect, and I like a lot of punk songs, and there's a lot of things that I look back on and go, oh, that band is kind of punk, or they started punk. I'm a big Replacements fan. Essentially, we're punk in Minneapolis in the early 80s, coming out of the scene there. Go-Go's started punk and moved and stuff. So I enjoyed it, and in the 90s when I was on radio, like a lot of punk stuff came through. And again, I don't want to. That word, that title, that genre can get thrown around a lot, and then some people will be like, that's not punk. Other people, yeah, that is punk. I liked playing Rancid. Time Bomb was a great radio song.
Oh, God.
A lot of great Rancid songs came our way. Descendants, I love it. Love a lot of their music. I'm the One is a great song. Though my friend Joe Starr, everyone should know Joe Starr, has a great bit about pop punk and emo bands in the early 2000s, just rampant with misogyny, but we just didn't know it. And he does a great bit about the songs from that era. Descendants kind of in that. So that's kind of my thought.
Good thought. Actually, it just reminded me. Know what blew my mind on a Force Center episode? Finding out Jennifer Landa used to go to punk shows as a wee one.
Jennifer Landa used to go to punk shows, and then what? She also used to follow. Was it Fish and Dave Matt, and the Dead?
Something like that. Yeah,
yeah.
She keeps all the fun stories to herself.
We're slowly pulling them out. She hides them. She tries to bury them, but they're on her YouTube channel. Her dancing down on Venice Beach and doing videos about it. But I love that. All right, final question for you. And I got calls from Evan. I got Steve lined up with NFL picks. You guys are watching the Blathering Live. I'm Ken Napzok. You might know that by now. You might remember me from the old internet. In fact, the wedding I'm going to on Saturday will be full of the old internet. It's going to be a good time. Could you, Jared, with your great punk band, Concept of a Plan? Concept.
We kept it short.
Love it. Could you cover the Beatles' I've Just Seen Her Face as a punk song?
I mean, I don't see why not. We've been talking about actually taking older songs of that, like 80s pop songs or older bubblegum songs from Detroit and whatnot, and throwing those around. And
for the record, the Beatles, this song's from the 60s. Okay, just for I've Just Seen a Face. It's 2 minutes of punk, and my old roommate back in the early 2000s formed a punk pop band. They released an album. They were called 818. They used to play in the Sunset Strip. I'd go there a lot. I used to be cool, kids. I used to be cool. And I was like, Joel, you have to cover I've Just Seen a Face. I've just seen a face. I can't forget the time or place where we just met. I'm like, this is a punk song. And they would never do it. You've got to do it.
No,
please.
Kingsport. No.
Please. No, what's Kingsport Cal saying? Kiss Detroit Rock City. If you could do a punk sped up version of like Beth, maybe that could work. I don't know. All right, maybe not. Maybe not. I said it out loud. I'm a Peter Criss fan. I don't know.
That's
Jared,
okay. Rock guy from the 90s. I get it.
Jared the Type Pilot. This has been a great call. You've got some great stuff. Please, when you get some music out, you're going to drop it here, right?
Oh, of course.
Drop that link, everybody. Drop that link. Thank you, Jared. We got Evan up here. We got Steve coming with a full bevy of topics. Let me catch up here. I want to answer this question. The super chat from Malcolm. Thank you, Malcolm, for the super chat. He had asked, hey, Ken, hope all is well. Is there a stand-up comic or specific tour from days of yore that would make for a good, almost famous style movie? Stand-up comedy movies are hard to do, but they do exist. And Mark Ellis and I have kind of a running list of movies that are about stand-up but aren't stand-up. Crazy Heart comes to mind, which is about the music, country music scene. Jeff Bridges, Colin Farrell, great movie, great soundtrack. Ryan Bingham on that soundtrack. But Up in the Air is a great example of a movie that is about being a stand-up comic, particularly one that goes on the road, but it's nothing to do with comedy. So it's hard to do, I think, comedy movies. King of Comedy comes to mind. The Apatow did one that actually, Funny People, not as bad as people wanted it to be. I actually enjoyed that film. So there's ways to do it. But I think you could take some of like Steve Martin's rise, becoming one of the first true stadium comics, and then getting so much that he has to walk away from it. He wrote his own book about it, Born Standing Up. There's that great 2-part doc that came out earlier this year. Highly recommend it. Big Steve Martin fan. I think that kind of thing, you could fictionalize it. You could a young comic watching his legend just reach the top, reach the pinnacle, and then walking away from it all. I think that'd be kind of interesting. I'd go to that and follow that kind of thing. I think it'd be interesting to do a story on a Carlin-esque type guy finding himself again. Good. Great doc. I think it was Apatow. Great doc on George Carlin came out last year that I highly recommend you all see. And George Carlin, for all the great things that he is remembered for, one thing that I think is overlooked, that he is someone who had to find himself and had to find himself again. He found some success, but it wasn't true to him. He then rebuilt and became his true self. That's kind of the 830 words, the long hair Carlin, and all that stuff. And then that started to become passé, and he became something else. And it's finding your true self as an artist and continuing to evolve. I think you could do a story with that. It could just be Carlin. Yeah, maybe just watch the doc. So Malcolm, great question. Love that there. All right, before I get to Evan, I am going to reveal, we have a couple things. Mustang Red says Eddie Van Halen. There you go. Just yells Eddie Van Halen. That's not wrong. Mustang Red might be Mark Ellis. Just do some Me First and the Gimme Gimme styles. Yeah, I see Me First and the Gimme Gimme. So we used to play them on radio station. So one of the questions on our mind, we have on YouTube, we have a poll going here tonight. I'll check in on it. Please vote. Dan, what is your favorite part of a wedding? I got 2 weddings. I got a wedding this weekend, and I got a wedding in 2 weeks. Dancing, snacks, which is just kind of food in general, but not necessarily dinner. Open bar, discovering relatives you have that you may have not have known. Open bar is still winning. I'm not surprised by that. 47%, now climbing. Snacks 31, dancing 17, relatives 5%, 6%. It just jumped up. So there you go. Let me know, and if you're on Facebook or Twitch, where I can't put the poll, just leave it there. But the answer to the question of how many emails are currently in my inbox, unread or read, again, I have 10 active Gmail accounts, but I'm going to my primary one, and I have 1,551. Let's go back up to the bets here. Addie said 8,967. Now, Kingsport Cal has 12,000 emails in his Hotmail account. That might be a problem. 8984M, as we said, scared some people, has 36K unread emails. But Will McClain said 10,754. Respect that. But it was Jared, our buddy Jared, who just called, said 1,124, the closest, with not going over, to my primary email account. Now, my business account has too many. Oh my God, my business account has over 10,000, but that's because I haven't emptied the promotion tab, which normally I do that. So I'm going to say 1,400 and 33 working emails in my work email account there. Whew, wow. I got to get deleting. That's some things. That's troubling that I did that. All right. Jake says I'm calm with 3,000 emails. That's impressive. There we go. Let's get Evan on the line here. We got Evan. Evan, how many emails in your inbox, and what's your favorite part of a wedding?
Oh, let's see. I'll check right now. This is going back to Tuesday. I have 129 unread emails.
That's respectable. I don't think Jared would turn his back on you. I think that's a respectable amount.
That's work. That's Chipotle promotions. Everything you can imagine.
Buy one, get another one free. Love that. Yeah. All the junk email that comes there. Okay, that's 129. That means you're a good, reasoned individual.
Keep tabs. I'm compartmentalizing.
Yeah, you're handling it well. And then what's your favorite part of wedding? Then I want to hear what your question is tonight.
My favorite part of wedding, well, my comment you mentioned earlier, got to get out there with the white girl music and start dancing, but only after some drinks.
Yes. I need at least one to get started. I have to admit, I sober dancing, it's not that I just lack the skills. There's just that much of inhibition still, that I need to get over, or inhibition. You know what I mean? So yeah, I need at least one drink. And then I don't know about you, Evan, I usually carry that drink to the dance floor.
Yeah. I think it's normally like drink 3 or 4, but that one comes onto the dance floor definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay. Well, all right. Adam Knight's leaving. Have a good evening, all. That gives me an opportunity to say one more time, check out Adam's book. That's right. I am making sure that he gets good promotion for his book, Cowboy Ending, available on Amazon right now. Support independent artists making their dreams come true. All right, Evan, I want to hear what's on your mind. No, wait, hold on. Evan, I want to hear what's on your mind, but we're live. Kingsport Cal says, Ken ain't got rhythm. Let me tell you something, Kingsport Cal. Some of my performances on dance floors at weddings have got me invites to the cookout. So know your role and calm it down, Kingsport Cal. I get drunk. I know what I'm doing. Okay, Evan, cleared that up. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Well, Ken, I want to say, I think that the drinking and going to dancing, I think that's determined by your role at the wedding. Are you there to bring the ruckus, or are you just an NPC? It kind of has to do with who's getting married and what's your relation to them.
This is a great point, Evan, because you could be going to a wedding where you've got responsibilities. Like, I didn't really tear it up when I officiated the Makuga wedding. Even after, I danced a little bit, had some fun, but there's a lot of people there who thought I was a pastor, and I just felt I needed to uphold some sort of image.
That's fair.
They were also some people thought I was a father, and they were confused as to Grace's role in my life. But it was a fun night. This is great because the last wedding I went to, I thought I was going to be an NPC, even though I knew these people and they were friends. There was a lot of friends there. It was just like, all right, I hadn't seen them in a while. It was one of those like, oh, I got invited. All right, let's do this. And I turned out to be a ruckus starter on the dance floor.
Nice. Yeah. And it's kind of, you got to know your role. Like, personally, at my wedding, I had a great time. I brought the ruckus, obviously, to my own wedding. But I saw my brother-in-law, my now brother-in-law, and his better half, and it looked like they were having a better time than me, and that bothered me deeply. They were bringing even more ruckus.
Yeah, man.
And I had to get my brother and says, "You go get him and put him on a leash for me." All right.
Yes. Go rate him in. Kingsport House is a great analogy. Yeah, and Jake says, I never doubted Ken getting invited to the cookout. No, I've got many cookout invites. I'm just trying to figure out if that's a general one that I now can attend any cookout, or it has to be specific, and no one will answer me. Kingsport Cal, please give me the answer. Regarding when I was the officiating weather, folks thought Grace was your kid or something. No. They just didn't understand because everyone at that wedding, I did such a good job officiating the Makuga wedding. They were on it. They were so, oh my God, Father, you did so good. Like, they just assumed, because there was a lot of older people in the Makuga family there who, when they see someone officiating, they just assume I went to seminary school. They do not understand that I went to a website, clicked 5 buttons, and now can marry people. So they just naturally assumed father, pastor, rabbi, whatever. And that made for some very hilarious misunderstandings. But Evan, this is great stuff here. What else is on your mind here? Take me through your weddings.
I wanted to hit my actual favorite thing at a wedding is the wedding cigar. And I don't know if you're a cigar guy, but I'm a huge cigar guy.
I am not. I'm a good little boy. I've never sinned before God, and have never smoked a cigarette or a cigar.
Okay, I respect that. It's fair. And I've never touched a cigarette in my life.
Do you? I don't know if you do, Evan.
I do. Hey, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah.
But I love the wedding cigar. It's something that not many people know how to do. I'm
clearly
shocked to find, but it's my one. It's like there's definitely better dancers out there than me. Well, I have effort and determination on the dance floor. There's nobody at the wedding that smokes a cigar better than me.
I love this. First of all, it's a great way to describe most white drunk dancing at weddings: effort and determination. The cigar. Because I don't smoke cigars. I watch from afar because I know it's a playing field I should not step on. What are the keys to just grabbing that thing and puffing on it?
It's a dance, really, just like Mr. Makuga with the chair dance. It's experience, it's technique, and I love bringing new people over. The people like you be staring at me like, "Do you have another one of those? How do you do that?" And I said, "Come here, child. I'll show you."
King Forecast says, "Damn, Evan got confidence." Yeah, you're smoking a stogie. What is the? Before I let you go, Evan, what is the one thing I'd need to know before puffing on that long thing?
Don't puff and light from the same end.
I think I could do that. I have no desire to smoke a cigarette, roll one, roll a fatty, as Kingsport Cal might have said in 1996. But I have looked across at people smoking cigars. I have walked past cigar bars in L.A. and thought, I like the smell. My grandfather used to smoke a pipe, and I loved that tobacco smell.
Similar.
I loved the smell of the pipe. Yeah. Years ago, Star Wars Celebration Anaheim, a Jedi Alliance, Jedi Council fan gave me like a whole pipe tobacco, like a whole thing. And we took a photo to get the Chewbacca shirt on. I think you can find it on my MySpace page. And I was like, I don't know how to tell him I don't smoke this stuff. But I look at you with envy, and maybe one day I'll put a stogie in my mouth, light it from the right end, and smoke it.
Yeah. Well, Ken, if next time you come out to the New York, New Jersey area, I'll find my way to you, and maybe we'll have one together.
I love this. We'll do it after a comedy show, and it'll be fun. And I'll puff, puff, puff. Evan, thank you for the call. Wonderful stuff.
Thanks, Ken.
Appreciate it. Kingsport Cal has slandered my name. Cal, I know you. Don't think I don't know you. You're listening to Blathering Live. We're having a lot of fun hanging out. It's a radio show, not quite life talk, but it's sports talk about life. I do want to let you know on the YouTube channel, if you're watching on YouTube, I did put up my latest food review, drink review video. Reese's Coffee, can you go too far? Is the question as I tried a Reese's flavored International Delight iced coffee made with real milk and cream. The longest title for anything I've ever seen. It was an experience. It was an early morning when I recorded that, so I'm not going to say it's the most lively video. I was hoping the coffee would liven me up. Tune in to find out if it did. We also want to let you know that if you support me at patreon.com/KenNapzok, you get cool things like my Young Guns watch along. Don't worry, Young Guns 2 is still on my mind. Or my comedy show from Burbank, 40 minutes of me, Hot Burbank Nights. All there if you support on Patreon. Right now, though, we are going to go to the phones. We're going to go to the phones, they say. With our buddy Steve checking in last week, he continued the tradition of asking me what NFL teams will win, and I don't think I did good, but we have a lot on the call. What do you got, Steve? I want your email number, I want your wedding faves, and your sports fandom geography. What do you got?
Thank you so much, Ken, as always, for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do picks at the end here. Yeah, in summary though, quickly, it wasn't the best week, but that just means we have room for improvement. So it's okay. There's still room
Spoken
to
like
make.
a good. You know what you sound like? You sound like Mike McDaniel, the coach of our life.
Well, let's yeah. Well, we'll see how that analogy goes at the end of the season. But anyway, so emails. Yeah, I have 465 unread in the personal inbox, but I'm pretty sure most of those are just spam, promotional, that kind of stuff. I didn't realize we were doing unread and read, so I had to go back and check. And then 7,304 total.
7,304 total.
That's supposed to delete our emails. Like, is that? I didn't know that. Am I supposed to? Is that a thing?
I mean, like I was saying with Addie, I want to. I look at that email number. Like the fact that mine's down to like 1,400 or 1,500 is pretty impressive. I've had the 4,000, I've had the 7,000 range before, and I just I guess I'm a pack rat in my storage shed and my emails. You don't know when you're going to need it. And there's been times outside of the lawsuit stuff I was saying earlier. There's been times where my friend's like, "Oh yeah, just come on over," and I'm like, "Oh, I have his address. It's in an email. Let me find it." It works.
I delete the emails from my bank mostly just in case like someone actually gets in there, maybe don't want them going there. But other than that, I don't know. Maybe I should reassign or kind of rethink about that. Anyway, no, work email 0 unread. Can't do that. If I log off at the end of the day with an unread email in my work inbox, I kind of freak out. So.
Okay. Well, you're a good, dutiful employee, and I respect that about you, Steve. That's why you'd be a good producer of things.
I try. Thank you so much. Anyway, so for the wedding, I voted open bar for favorite thing, but I have another candidate that I just wanted to throw out there just because I think this is actually my favorite thing to do at a wedding.
A wild card.
That's people watching, and specifically that like second, third hour into the reception when people have been dancing for about an hour, they've had the drinks. Just sit back down at your table, step back, look at the dance floor. That's always a fun sight. And then look at the tables and the plotting that is going on, because there's always there's drama going on, not only on the dance floor, but also the tables around you, especially if you've got that, that view back there. The people watching is great at weddings.
I love this. I love this because you're right. Second or third hour, because I'd start at second hour, because then you start to see the people who are planning to do the Irish goodbyes. I'm looking at you, Mark Ellis. 2, you're looking at the couples where one of them's like, I want to go. The other one's like, no, okay. And they let me do one more dance, or let me go say bye to Steve, or something like that. There's that. Then there's the kids running wild. And then, might be some drama. You dance too close to her. What are you doing next to him? What's going on? Or then it's like an aunt and uncle who don't like the cut. It's a thing. I love it. This is a good wild card pick.
Yeah, it's always, weddings are many good things, but also you never know what's going on underneath.
You never know.
Anyway, sports fandom. I would just wanted to reach out to those folks who also have sports teams that are not from they don't root for teams locally. As someone who grew up all over the country, I went to 7 schools before I graduated high school, and I took a sports team from each location that I lived in throughout my life, kind of as I grew up, starting to watch that sport, right? Yeah. So I am a Cincinnati Reds fan, a Philadelphia Eagles fan, a Miami Heat fan, and a as far as football goes, or as far as soccer goes, Liverpool. So I'm kind of all over the place, geographically for sports. But I've lived in all those places at different times, or close to them at least. But it's always weird because I wanted to take one little piece from, I don't know, kind of how I grew up, and it kind of helped shape my sports identity.
I love that. That's that's the thing is, if I born and raised in LA, Dodgers might have been a natural fit. I totally get that. But you fall in love with the team where you are. And being in LA 25 years, I went from hating the Dodgers to when Kirk Gibson hit the home run. I used to play on the A's, the Arroyo Grande A's, for my Little League team. So I had an A's hat on. And when Eckersley gave up that home run, I threw down my hat. I was so pissed at the Dodgers. But 25 years in L.A., going to them here in the city, maddeningly managing them as a Yankee fan, that I have a love for the Dodgers. So I get it. I like the full around.
Yeah, it just so happened that starting to watch that sport associated with when I was in that place, and so there were just some formative times for that, and so. But yeah, it makes some matchups kind of tough, but yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I feel for all those folks who have those long distance sports relationships, as we call them.
It can be tough, and the cities can reject you there. But I do believe it's time for some NFL picks. Are we doing NFL picks now?
We've got picks. So an update, 1-4 last week. It wasn't pretty.
What was my win? Was it
Baltimore?
Oh yeah, handily over Josh Allen, the stupid Buffalo Bills. Great. Okay. Yeah, I was in the car with Ellis listening to the Eagle game, knowing that pick had gone horribly wrong, but having hope for Monday night with the Dolphins, which went horribly wrong. So, okay.
Atlanta broke your heart by 1 point. If it had been a 3-point game, you would have won that, but we were very close. Anyway, here on the next week, on to redemption. We have 5 more games on to Cincinnati. Technically not the Bengals this week, but anyway, we do have your Miami Dolphins here at the end. Anyways, game number 1 is the game over the pond, across the pond, as they say, I guess. Jets at Vikings. The Vikings are a 2.5-point favorite in London.
Yeah. Look, I think I'm looking good with the Vikings. I took them the week before, I believe, right? Vikings. I really like what's going on over there. I like a quarterback like what's his name? Darnold. The Commanders quarterback. I like quarterbacks who get redemption. The Baker Mayfields of the world who were cast off from their earlier choices, and they find a system that works and a team that works. And Jefferson, I just think he's great. And, I'm not going to lie, I want Aaron Rodgers to never win another football game again. So I'm going to take that bias and put it into my Vikings bet.
All right, taking the Vikings in London, 2.5-point favorite. Game number 2, Dallas at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a 1.5-point favorite.
Look, there's no reason the Cowboys should have won over the Giants, right? That was the last big game we had with them. The Giants outplayed them in a lot of ways. You know why I know this? Because Mark Ellis and I drove 6 hours up the coast, and I had to hear Colin Cowherd talk about this for 4 of those hours, about how the Giants are a better team. They're just needing a quarterback. They got the front line. They got a key offensive player. They got good coaching. And that the Cowboys got lucky. So based on that knowledge, I'm not going to say always listen to Cowherd. I'm going against the Cowboys. I'll take
the Steelers at home.
Take the Steelers. Yeah, and the Steelers. I like what's going on there too.
Yeah, Justin Fields is playing well today.
Yes. Redemption story.
Redemption story. I like it. That's our theme. All right.
Yeah. Okay.
Next game. This is a tough one. Bigger spread here. Arizona at San Francisco. San Francisco is a 7.5-point favorite.
And we got Murray finally looking and finding Harrison Jr. open. Where it's at San Francisco?
At San Francisco.
Yeah, Cardinals on the road. Not going to take them. I'll take the Niners, and they're going to win by 7, absolutely, at least, if not more.
All right. Another surprisingly good team this year. The New Orleans Saints are at the Chiefs. The Chiefs are a 5.5-point favorite.
Look, I think Travis Kelce got a little motivated by people saying he was both dumped and over in the league. I think he's motivated. I sometimes wish I could vote out Mahomes. I don't dislike him. I think he's super talented. He's fun to watch. I wish he would take more of a stand as a human being, but I can't worry about that on the field. His wife is clearly taking a stand. But I do love Andy Reid. He is, as we say in the sports talk world, I forget which sports talk show they said this, but he is the guy that walks into the room and sees the donuts and goes, "Ooh, don't mind if I do." One of my favorite descriptions of a human being ever. I'm pro Andy Reid and the nuggies he likes to eat. I can't go against Kansas City at home. Taking them.
Taking the Chiefs. All righty. And the last game, this is your Miami Dolphins at the New England Patriots. The Patriots are a 1.5-point favorite at home.
They are. They're 1.5 point. I know it's home. Okay.
Ken, last week was rough.
Last week was the worst. Look, I've been watching the Miami Dolphins since 1984. We've had some bad teams. We've had some really good teams. We've had a 1-15 team that looked better than the team on the field last week. They showed up dead. They looked, it was just embarrassing. It was embarrassing. It was one of the most embarrassing moments as a sports fan. It reminded me of why I kind of pulled out of watching sports over the last 5-6 years, where it's like, I can't care this much anymore. It looked bad. But here's the thing. They're professionals. They got embarrassed. I still believe in McDaniel. The play calling was annoying. I don't like to be a person in the stands questioning NFL coaching, something I don't understand. But the play calling, I just want answers for. And I hope it changes. He's promised some changes. I don't know if Mostert's coming back. We lost Jalen Phillips, but you know what? I kind of think that was going to happen anyways. I'm sad to say it. He's one of my favorite players out there. We're going to be motivated. And we hate the Patriots, and we always play the Patriots good. I'm not just saying this because I'm a homer, Steve. I'm taking the Dolphins.
All right, we're taking the Dolphins. Yeah, McDaniel's feeling the heat, I think, for the first time, really. So
for the first time.
It'll be interesting to see kind of how, and I agree with you in that regard. I do think he's gonna respond to that well. Whether or not they win is one thing, but I think as long as see some more fight in the team, and the offense just they need to move. You got to do something, right? That's what you want to.
You can't keep throwing 1 yards into the flat and hoping that the speed takes over. The play calling in Miami has God. I'm really starting to sound like a sports talk radio guy. The play calling in Miami is like that guy who you play Madden against, who's always trying to do the weird home run play. And, sometimes, 4 yards and a puff of dirt is what you kind of need. And whether it's through the air or just go over the middle. I think Snoop can throw it. I think he can find his receivers. Waddle dropped a big pass that might have changed the game. So that's not on Snoop. So I believe in McDaniel for at least one more week, Steve. At least one more week.
All right, one more week. All right, Ken, to recap our picks really quick for week 5, Vikings, taking the Vikings in London against the Jets, Pittsburgh over Dallas, San Francisco over Arizona, the Chiefs over the Saints, and you're taking the Dolphins over the Patriots. 6-9 on the season. Ken, thank you so much. We'll see how you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Steve. Checking in. That's how you do it, friends. That is how you do it. And I will... had a lot of fun last week. I didn't even ask Steve for permission to do it. I just decided I'm going to clip this out. I guess it's my show. I have ownership over my show. So I clipped out the segment last week, the picks. Hey, you might as well do it. We'll make some NFL picks. I'm having a lot of fun getting back into sports in a way I hadn't been. I was watching Major League Baseball playoffs yesterday. And I think I laugh sometimes. There's a lot of you that know me and got to know me because of the nerd stuff, which I'm a nerd deep down inside. Absolutely. I mean, there's Khaleesi, Grogu, a Wampa, Obi-Wan Kenobi's over my shoulder. And I'm not switching that out. I'm not going to, if someone wants to get me a Dan Marino figurine, maybe I'll put a Dan Marino back there. But a lot of you know me from this stuff, and you started listening to my shows from this stuff, and that was around the time I started to not watch sports as much. And so I hope it's not too abnormal or too weird or too awkward or too just out of place for a lot of you. But I'm a big sports fan. Spent a lot of the 90s not missing games. I missed, and I wouldn't do this again. I've come to a better spot. But there were Dolphin games, and this is the Miami Dolphins I'm invested in. There were Dolphin games, and I'm not talking playoff games. I'm talking training camp, week 2, where I would miss family events, friends events. I missed saying goodbye to a friend who was moving out of town. I stayed home to watch the Dolphins. That's kind of what I used to be. I'm a little better on that now. I would go out. I could tape a game, but the tape was what we used to do. We used to put VCRs in the thing and set it. It's been a lot of fun to have the Steve calling of these segments there. So I also want to highlight Super Chat from Jay Seed says, oops, for the Reese's gas station snacks fund. Thank you. I appreciate that. It really means a lot, helping the channel going. Don't forget, too, if you're watching, like the video, go to the Reese's coffee review video, like that. Really helps. I am spending a lot of time with my quote-unquote day job, working for a YouTube channel right now, as well as Force Center and all the things I'm doing, Sports Card ASMR. My radio show, Pop Rockin' Radio, is back weekly on Hall of Fame Music Radio. So I'm slightly distracted from putting a little more elbow grease into this channel, but we ain't done yet and got a lot of things I want to do here on this channel. But hanging out with you live is part of the fun. Steve says, love doing the picks. Thanks for letting me ramble. No, Steve, you understand. I was talking to Mark Ellis about this, because poor Mark Ellis. Mark Ellis picks me up 6:30 in the morning last Friday, drive up the coast, city of San Carlo by San Francisco. Poor Mark Ellis has spent like 7 hours in a car with me. And I had, I didn't have coffee. I don't drink coffee when I'm on the road. You don't know what the bathroom situation is going to be at a rest stop. You don't know that. No coffee for me. But I did have some adrenaline, and I talked Mark's ear off. And one of the things I talked about was the ability to call in, and I'm blessed with great callers. You all show up, you have your questions, you get to it, you're entertaining. I try to keep the rambling from you and me down, but this is how you do calls. And I think because, understandably, people aren't listening to radio anymore, the art of calling in and being a radio caller and me being a radio host is a lost art sometimes. Not across the board. And you guys are really helping me with that. And I really appreciate it because this is something eventually, hey, I'd love to do this daily. Daily. Take calls. And what's your thought? What's your question? I love this stuff. I've always wanted to do it. And you guys are making those dreams a reality. Appreciate that. And you can, Mustang Steve says, Ken rules. So does Dan Marino Van Halen. I'm only 51. Yeah, the age is a number. Evan says, let's go Yankees. Kingsport Cal says, hope all well your world as he re-ups as a channel member. You want to call in to support the show. 2 ways to do it. You can support me on Patreon, or you can become a member here on our channel. I'm looking at having a little bit of a net problem. I still call it the net because I am a Gen Xer, and we all know that. Baseball picks, I can. I what's the score here? I want to check live as we're talking here. I finished 4th place in my fantasy baseball league this year. Me and my co-owner friend Corey, we came in 4th place, and it was a good 4th place because we should have been farther down. Not looking good for the Mets. Not looking good for the Mets. I'll tell you this much. On the American League side, we got Cleveland and Detroit. We got Kansas City and my Yankees. Kansas City scares me. There's a history there at the Yankees and the Royals in postseason going back to the 70s and 80s. It's good to see them playing again in the postseason. I'm taking the Yankees. And as much as I want to take the Tigers, I do think Cleveland outlasts them. And we have a Cleveland-New York American League Championship Series. On the National League side, Padres, Dodgers, and then we're waiting to find out if it's Brewers, Phillies, Mets, Phillies. I'm still kind of rooting for the Mets. I think Mets, Phillies would be a great series, but Milwaukee's a good team. I like that their manager left, Craig Counsell. Their manager kind of ditched them last year. Counsell's Cubs did not make the playoffs. The Brewers did, and I think it would be good for that city and that fan base to get on there. To get into the NLCS. So we'll do more baseball picks there. Dylan does ask this question, and I got a disappointing answer. The Shawshank Redemption turned 30 recently. Crazy. What's the relationship with that movie? Also, how do you feel about art celebrating anniversaries so regularly? As far as the anniversaries, I think it's fun. I think it's fun when we could celebrate art 30 years on. It's a weird passing of the time. Star Wars hitting 40, Lucasfilm hitting 50. Pretty soon Star Wars is going to hit 50. It can be crazy, but I think it's a great chance to celebrate what these pieces of art have done. It's a market. You can market things, especially with music. 30th anniversary of, definitely maybe. Sure, let's do it. Let's release it. So I do like that. As far as Shawshank Redemption, it's one of those movies I haven't really seen. I've seen parts of it. It was on the other day in my hotel. And I had it on for a couple seconds. It was right when the Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins met. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I've seen parts of it. I've seen the come out of the mud. I've quoted it accidentally. Gotta get busy living or get busy dying, whatever. I've said that, and people are like, oh, Shawshank. I'm like, oh, I just was saying that as general advice. But okay, yeah, Shawshank, got it. So it's just one of those films I had missed during the time that it came out, and I never have revisited it, and I apologize. And it's Frank Darabont directed it, right? Yeah, right. And I've seen The Majestic, which I think is his film as well. I think Jim Carrey. So that's my relationship to it. Ranger Donald says, I'm here for New York versus LA World Series. I think it would be tremendous for the sport of baseball that a Dodger-Yankee World Series. I think it would be amazing to have a Dodger-Yankee World Series. We're almost out of here. A lot of fun, as always. I put this out as a podcast. Check out the feed, the Napzok Network. It's the same feed that's been in existence since 2012. Used to be Napzok Files. Then it was Saturday Night Napzok on the Napzok Files. God, I miss doing Saturday Night Napzok, but it wasn't profitable. Napzok Network, a lot of stuff on there. Talk to Robbie Smith. We are working on getting another episode of our our biggest win together. It's been a while. Robbie has gone through some other things. And he's come through on the other side, and we're going to talk about it. Addy says, as a Tampa Bay fan, I cannot root for the Yankees. Yeah, they got a pretty heated rivalry. It's an underrated rivalry going on right now. So that's coming up here, and then I have the audio-only podcast, A Napzok File. It's a blathering, but with no audience, no cameras, and kind of an old-school vibe, and I'm having a lot of fun doing that. I did want to highlight this. I mentioned it. Mark Ellis and I drove up to the memorial of Josh McCouga's brother, Ben McCouga. Tragedy. I don't know the word. 44. It was actually his 45th birthday that we're celebrating him on Saturday. Father of four, husband, son, brother, human, boss. We actually got to go to EA, where Ben had worked, and the reception was at the EA facilities up there. Beautiful facility. They put on, and you just got to hear from people that worked with Ben too, and it was good. Josh McCouga, who I love dearly, is kicked the tires on his own YouTube channel. I want to encourage you all to head over to Josh's channel if you're not over there watching what he's doing. He's having a lot of fun as Josh has always finds a way to do. He's having his positivity stuff. He's, I think, going to bring back the positivity report. He's doing TV talk. But Josh is also documenting his grief journey, documenting how to get through, documenting and interviewing people about loss, about big losses. And I think it's great stuff. So support Josh in his journey. Mark and I were blessed to go up there. And it's a tragic thing. Death of any kind, loss of any kind is hard. This one, particularly hard, and it hit the family hard because they're so close. The McCouga family, and I'm saying that in general sense because there's other names, surnames in that family, but just House McCouga, this big family that Mark and I are honored to get to be a part of from time to time. Whether I'm a father at a wedding or Mark and I show up and people are like, oh, they're the comic friends from L.A. Man, the family is grieving. But it's such a family full of love. Families are weird things. Families aren't for everyone. I'm not super close with a lot of my family. For a lot of people, blood family isn't the option. But you find your own families. But the concept of family, the concept of togetherness, the concept of love and support was on display. And I was really blown away by how much fun that family could find in the darkness and celebrated each other and celebrated for Ben. We got to watch Penn State win at a local bar for Ben. Steelers as well were in play, but they did not get the victory. But it was just fun to come together and be part of it. And I really want to send my love out to the McCouga family and to the memory of Ben McCouga, who was great. He was a rock for Josh, and I know Josh is going through it. He's been very public with what he's going through, and I think that's needed. So give my buddy Josh McCouga some love. Head over to his channel. Find him on social media and just tell him you appreciate him and love what he's doing because he's got a lot of things cooking in his brain going forward on that channel. But I think it's important that what he's talking through. He is there. You go. Steve put the link up. The Josh McCouga Show. He rebranded it. Yeah, Kate was on the channel there. Yeah, he rebranded the Josh McCouga Show. Highly recommend what he's doing over there. And I think it's a good thing to be talking openly about the grief and the grieving process there. So. There you go. So pour one out for Ben. It was fun to celebrate his memory. Good dude. Strong family. Kids are hurting, but they're gonna come out even better. And shouldn't have to be that way. Should never have to be this way. But you got to learn to fly, and they're all flying over there in House McCouga. So good stuff. And we'll be back next week, though soon. I was looking at the calendar. We got Halloween coming up on Thursday, so I'll move the show. And next week, I might have to move the show. In fact, next week, I have to move the show. Apologize. So we're going to do a blathering on the Wednesday night. I'm putting in my calendar right now. We have to do a Wednesday night blathering because Thursday night, I got to get my bug spray on. We're spraying the house. I got to go. I can't broadcast while they're spraying. Questions on the way out here. Dylan Barry asked, any future guests for Blathering? Mark Riley and McCouga, great to hear from. Yeah, it was great to have them on, and the numbers reflect it too, by the way. There's some talk thoughts of I have the Blathering conversations up, but those are a little different. Those are quieter. Those are more in depth. I think I want to go live, and I think I don't want to have just the podcast feel of tell me about your deepest pains. I just want to hang out. This is a radio show in my mind. So I have some people, comics, music people in the music business and stuff, and just friends like Riley and Josh. Bring them back on. I'd love to have Mark Ellis on. He's not going to pop on. Wangers, all those things. So yeah. And then more Sports Card ASMR. Yeah, I didn't have an episode tonight, but we have an episode Friday, Ranger. And then I got your box of goodies right over there, Ranger Donald. That's going to be one of the next videos. Guest picks. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's fun too. We'll get some. You know what I could do? I know how I can get Mark Ellis on the show. I could bribe him by just coming in for one week to help me with sports picks, Steve. That might be the thing. All right, that is it. Thanks for all who called in. Thanks for all who are listening and watching and hanging out. I love y'all. Love what you do. See you next time here on The Blathering with me, Schloopy Magoo. Bye.